if the talent management folks out there aren't paying attention to what AI is bringing to the table, you're going to get very much behind. We made a decision 2 years ago to create a fully curated, research-based, evidence-based database that an LLM analyzes, so that when customers come into our services and they're asking for guidance of our AI companion, it's going to give them guidance based on the best of what we know to be true.
Welcome to the Growth Experts podcast. Today's episode, I have a very special guest. His name is Roger Pearman. He is the founder and CEO of TalentTelligent.com. How are you doing today, Roger?
All right, it's great to be with you, Derek.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. So, Roger, tell us, how does your role fit into the bigger picture over at TalentTelligent?
Well, my business partner and I created TalentTelligent 8 years ago after we had been in various other executive roles and decided that we wanted to pool together our particular perspectives on talent management to create a comprehensive talent management system for organizations to be able to appropriately identify, select, nurture, and place talent throughout the arc of an individual's career.
Awesome. And what does a typical day look like for you as a CEO?
Well, as I talk to other organizational leaders, we talk about how important it is to make sure we pay attention to how we prioritize our time and activities so that it's aligned with our strategy and our vision for how we want the organization to grow and how we want to nurture the talent within our own organizations. And so I spend probably 3 or 4 hours a day involved in Zoom calls. Like so many organizations today, we have our talent spread out all over the country. So Zoom calls enables us to get together and make sure we're engaged in either presenting articles, outreach to customers, doing all the things that you have to do to keep us, if you will, achieving our particular financial goals. But also, we feel very mission oriented in that we believe that our approach makes a difference and that it enhances not only organizations, but the lives of individuals. So, every single day, I'm grateful for the opportunity to help individuals and help organizations clarify their talent strategy goals and find the talent they need to thrive.
Definitely. Awesome. And are you doing that on a day-to-day? Like, what's your shift like? You work long hours or 108 hours a week?
Yeah. You're implying something that I think is very important, that is you have to make sure you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
The old adage, if you don't put the mask on yourself first, you can't help the person next to you. So I do make it a point to set aside time every day for engaging in what I think of as creative activities. I happen to like to draw and engage in artistic sorts of things, which gives me a chance to reflect and pause and restore, as well as physical activity. Physical well-being is so vital today. Resilience is critical to be successful. So making time for that. And as you know, business is, there's a flow. Once you have a certain client base and you're busy listening to clients and listening to their needs, and your outreach, you make outreach activities into various networks, your day can be quite full with making sure we're all on the bandwagon in terms of the priorities that we have as an organization, as well as attending to the particular needs that customers have informed us that they really like to hear more about. So we've probably, as I think about our adjustments and changes and pivots, especially since COVID, Um, we probably spend more time in a day relating to technical kinds of advancements and enhancements than we do in what we would used to call pencil paper sorts of products. So um, staying on top of what's happening in AI is its own full-time job.
Yeah, that was my next question. What major shifts are you currently seeing in your industry right now,
Well,
whether it's AI or other?
oh yeah. Well, let me say a couple of things about AI because it seems to me if the talent management folks out there aren't paying attention to what AI is bringing to the table,
Mhm,
you're going to get very much behind. We made a decision 2 years ago to create a fully curated, research based, evidence based database that an LLM analyzes so that when customers come into our services and they're asking for guidance of our AI companion, it's going to give them guidance based on the best of what we know to be true around leadership development, individual effectiveness inside of organizations at different levels, from individual contributors to those in the executive chair.
mhm,
So we decided that quality in, quality out matters. As I often have to remind folks, if you were going to a surgeon who was relying on AI to help, you would want that surgeon to rely on an AI database, if you will, that is expert driven and contains the best of the research that we now have. Well, we offer the same thing to those searching for questions about their own growth and development, or organizations searching for how do we identify the talent priorities for folks to be successful. So we're very proud of the fact that our database doesn't hallucinate. Our LLMs don't provide misstatements or filled with bias. We, as I said, started 2.5 years ago, committed fully to a vectorized database that an LLM analyzes to produce answers. So, here's an example. On a site, anybody could go and do what we call career blueprint, where you can go in and decide to explore some roles and practices in the next sort of job you might consider doing, or the next place you would want to land in a role. And it will lead you to a dashboard where you can ask all kinds of questions like best strategies for articulating how your expertise can help organizations looking for someone with your particular strengths and your particular areas of expertise. So, I
Is
think AI
is that
is
yeah, is that your core principle that you had mentioned to me on our previous conversation, in terms of an evidence-based approach that, yields results?
it is core to every single part of what we provide for customers. That is, we've taken a hard look at the evidence. We've taken a good look at the research over these many years. And
Mhm,
the fact of the matter is, there's a good deal of, if you will, coalescence around key roles that people need to fulfill to be successful if they're in an executive seat or a manager seat or an individual contributor seat. So um, we've taken that research and threaded it through. In addition, research on human development and brain, if you will, neurological insights about growth and development and the kinds of things people need to pay attention to in order to maximize their particular strengths.
mhm.
So if if you think of what I would call the most important durable skills that individuals need to thrive in organizations, we know what the pathway is to develop those durable skills and to demonstrate those durable skills to thrive in a particular role that you might be in. So we say, look, let's lean into the evidence. What does the evidence tell us? So, for example, um, we might have a person who does the career blueprint who discovers that, hey, there's particular practices I'm not all that strong in right now. What are some assignments I might ask for in my current role that will help me develop those particular durable skills? Well, the AI companion will provide that analysis for you and say, here are the 2 or 3 assignments that are going to make the biggest difference for you and put you in the place of most potential to be successful when you're looking for that next uh, important role or position that you want to have.
Awesome. And how has this trend or AI and tech stack impacted your business and growth strategy?
Well, a pretty significant impact when I think about 2 years ago, we were learning all we could learn about what LLMs were going to bring to, um, if you will, the human services side of the equation. And it became very clear to us that um, we wanted to be in a space where we were providing for customer, whether it be the individual seeking guidance on their own growth and development or organizations seeking help on how to find the next most important CEO seat in their organization. Um, we decided that we wanted to take all the knowledge and all of the information that we had and to put it in a database that could be protected, secure, such that the information provided to individuals was as accurate as humanly possible, and was not subject to the very many problems that the general open AI experience has for many people, where the system um, can hallucinate, can tell you that something is true that isn't,
Yep.
can provide advice that isn't particularly accurate or supportive to what it is you're trying to understand. Now, the thing about it is that everybody's played by and large with AI. If the numbers are to be believed, people go in and they often get what they consider to be good answers. When it comes to your career, though, I wonder, is that good enough? When is it just good enough? My contention is people deserve the best. They deserve the best of the information that's available. We've done everything we can to take everything we knew that was in hard copy and now digitized it. AI, COVID caused us to pivot and make available digital services. And now, because of AI, it is now threaded through all of our services, everything from 360 assessments where people get to a learning dashboard and they have not only access to the information we have in digital form, but have access to an AI companion where they can upload any report they have about themselves and ask that companion, given these data points, what are the key themes I need to be paying attention to as I move forward in my career search. Same thing true for organizations who've used it as a way to develop plans for filling C-suite position. What are the kinds of questions that we need to be asking if we want to land in a certain position in 5 years? What are the attributes of an executive we need leading that charge? And the LLM is going to do that analysis based on the evidence that we have and give you the best answer.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed within the last decade, information and technology has become more readily accessible to even the average person, and especially if you're a business owner and someone who's capitalizing on that market. Technology is becoming more simplified over time, over and over and over. It just becomes more accessible and simplified to use in terms of the use case and applying it towards business and revenue. So those attributes and everything that you discuss, it seems valuable. Can you kind of elaborate on that? Is there any case study that you've used it for that has worked for your business?
We have so many clients who are using our whole talent management system, everything from creating success profiles to utilize in creating a very customized interview guide for folks who are hiring talent, to creating the 360 kind of assessment needed to nurture talent, to helping businesses identify where potential is. Who are the individuals in the organization that have the greatest potential to take on bigger responsibilities over the next 10 years?
Right.
It seems everything we touch, based on the fact that we've entered all this data into the database, the AI companion can give us information almost instantaneously. What might have taken us days to research and come up with answers in the past, we now can do very quickly. So, to your question about case studies, we have organizations who are using the whole system who will tell you that their learners are accessing on a regular basis the AI companion to get tips for example, I'm an executive who got feedback that I failed to listen adequately and I don't demonstrate a great deal of empathy, and some people experience me as being difficult to communicate with. What are some things I need to do to actually to demonstrate more effective listening skills, and what are the key things I need to do to make sure that people know that I am serious about understanding their concerns and issues? What's the best strategies for me, not only on a day-to-day basis, but over the next year? And the system will create a plan for you and tell you exactly the kinds of behaviors you need to engage in and things you need to do. Well, the test case is, do you do it? And when you do it, do you have evidence that the change is there? And the feedback we get is that because the guidance is so customized and the guidance is so specific to the individual, that it has a bigger impact than just a general development guide. So we have using the system science-based organizations that are involved in high-tech engineering production and healthcare organizations and a whole array of industries who, whether they're using AI in other parts of their industry, they certainly have adopted, at least with our system, the utilization of AI in nurturing the talent in their organization. So far, we haven't had anybody say to us, turn it off. We haven't. It's always an option. We always say, look, you don't have to have the companion as a part of the overall learning experience and in your talent management decisions. But if the last year and a half is any evidence, we have yet to have a client say, we want you to turn that off. In fact, the more typical question is, how often do you refresh the database? What new pieces are you adding to the database? And we have a plan for that too. We're very careful about making sure that the information that gets added to the database that individuals rely on is fully vetted and has all of the criteria, meets all of our criteria for well-founded evidence that will be of support and helpful to others. So it's, as you might well suspect, with major clients, they build into the contracts with you, you can't tell the world about you. You can't tell the world about our particular use of your materials. Or I'd love to tell you, here are the companies that we are involved in. I'll just say, as I sit here today, we have 50,000 employees who are using our AI companion to answer questions on how do I get ready for the next move in my career, to how do I improve my work in working with a team of individuals who have certain kinds of styles or attributes or skills. And I want to be able to have the most influence on them. So what are some things I might need to do? And
You said 50,000?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's a lot.
I have a belief that our entire industry is going to be completely transformed. It's not going to be long before the use of AI due to visual, voice, and other data points that the AI engines will be able to analyze all kinds of new insights and new patterns are going to be identified that organizations are going to lean into in selecting the talent that they need in organizational life. I dare say within a decade, the pencil paper assessments are going to disappear. And what we're going to see, Willie, is going to be AI driven assessments in all executive searches and all manager searches, and probably down to individual contributors. Because once you set those systems up, it's incredibly easy and efficient to run them.
Yeah, definitely. So, what's working well for you right now, and what's been frustrating? Whether candidates, talent pool, administrative clients.
Much to my surprise, I'm always astonished when I have someone on the other end of the line, a chief talent officer, say to me, "Well, we've been playing around with OpenAI, and it's cheap to use, and it's pretty good."
Yeah.
And when I ask them, "So what happens when your employees who rely on OpenAI get bad advice and do things that result in lawsuits?"
Mm.
And they say, "Well, that's not likely to happen." I say, "Well, actually, it's happening right now. We have throughout the country lawsuits that could have been avoided had the company utilized, or the individual utilized, a very well-designed AI companion that was reliant on curated research-based data and not just a scraping of the web in seeking how to stitch together information to give a beautiful answer that's always affirming, which the AI engines seem to have a penchant to do. So I'm always astonished, and I'll say to that person, "Would you want medical advice from an AI engine that scraped the web, or an AI engine that was reliant on the most important research in the field about which your medical concern rests?" And of course, well, we'd want the experts. Well, why don't you want that for your employees? Why don't you want your employees to be and to have access to the best of what's been thought, as opposed to simply scraping the web? Well, there are going to be enough lawsuits that are going to occur in the next decade that organizations are going to have to back up and say, what is the basis of our reliance on AI companions and the data from which it comes? That question is the single most important question, and the number of times I'm told, "Well, we really hadn't thought about it, and the OpenAI seems to be good enough." And I really am astonished. To your question, what's most frustrating? It is getting people to grasp the word crap is in the word scrape.
Yeah.
And that's what OpenAI does. It scrapes the crap in addition to a whole bunch of other ideas and stitching together answers for you. So the thing that's a joy is when we get feedback from learners who say, I really got a lot of useful guidance dealing with a particular issue or particular task, or my career richly aided by the tips and suggestions that were given. And in many cases, we have organizations who are using an AI companion as a coach assistant for managers, meaning the manager uses the companion to say, "Okay, I need to coach an employee on a particular performance factor. What are some ways I might coach this person, and what are some assignments I might give them to help them grow and be better at what I need them to do?" So that's refreshing. I actually am always excited when I hear a new tactic or a new strategy that someone's using the AI companion for that enriches others' lives.
Yeah, I mean, AI, you can definitely have some antiquated AI results in terms of the scrape or the crap, but really it's the human behind it. It's the human that adds that additional touch to it to enhance it. So in many ways, AI does enhance people's careers. It can enhance your position and or your life, but we are continuously enhancing AI. So, like, if I was to scrape the web, for example, get a certain amount of leads or get information or data out of that, whether it's crap or not, to enhance that data, it needs that human touch. It needs that human element, and that's communication, and that's making sure that the information is curated with quality to our standards, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Uh, oh, it is important to have, in our case, at least in our industry, we encourage always um, to make sure that the companion is a companion and not the answer, not
Right. Exactly.
the only source. But it is a great way to synthesize a lot of complex information quickly.
Definitely. So which metrics are you focused on improving? I think you kind of mentioned some of them, but could you elaborate more? And is it more the data that's being scraped or certain metrics or KPIs you want to improve within the business for your particular organization? Anything comes to mind?
Well, again, we're always enhancing our database as we gather data. We have so much data that comes from our work with customers that we analyze and utilize and use it to contribute to the next group. In no way, shape, or form does our AI companion step outside of our database when it is providing a synthesis and giving a particular suggestion. So, one of our KPIs, if you will, is how we are enriching and enhancing the database. For our business, I think for us, one of our performance indicators is um, how our customers adopt, the speed with which they adopt and utilize the services that we provide them, especially with the AI addition. Um, I uh, I think we are constantly seeking partnerships with those enterprises that also are providing services, what I would call talent-related services. Uh, and a metric for us is the number of those we establish in any given year. So it isn't just direct access to businesses that we want to provide support for, but we also measure our success by how we are helping the industry through other networks, and we are providing, if you will, a partnership to help achieve that.
Awesome. That's good. So can you give me some insight in terms of, I know that, you guys you have a large pool and you're always cultivating data, making sure that you improve on those KPIs and those metrics. Where do you see Talent Intelligent 6, 12 months down the road?
Well, I hope we have increased our number of customers by at least 15%. I hope that means number of companies that are using our services.
Right.
We fully expect that we will continue to enhance our AI companion. We already are about to deploy Companion 3.0, which has more functionality to it than the initial companion that we issued. So we are going to continue to look for ways to enhance services. So, for example, we will have a voice activated part of the companion experience so that a person can actually talk to the AI engine and it will respond and provided both oral and written information to help a person fully understand um, the answers to their questions. We find that we are constantly improving upon how to help people ask good questions. So,
Right.
the whole need to help people understand how to make the most effective use of this sort of powerful computing is really a new competency, helping individuals, in inquiry engineering, if you will. Um, we're increasing our activities in doing those kinds of things. So, um, I expect by the end of this year, um, we will probably have doubled the number of people who are using the AI companion. We certainly expect to increase the functionality as we get feedback about what people need and what's most useful to them. And of course, we are always paying attention to the stream of intellectual evidence that's collected by the industry. Meaning, when I say intellectual evidence, I mean the research that gets published, and we want to see if there's any particular issue that's emerging in the research that really is going to be important for us to pay attention to and find out more about, and see how that might cause us to make an adjustment. So I would imagine our portfolio will be bigger, our services more enriched, uh, and really the magnificent opportunity to help individuals across industries
Yeah.
in their career enrichment is really what floats my boat.
Awesome, man. Well, 30 plus years in your field, Dr. Roger R. Pearman, thank you so much for joining us on the Growth Experts podcast. For those of you who want to check out Dr. Roger's information, he is located on LinkedIn as well. And you can check out his website at TalentTelligent.com. And Roger, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Godspeed.